Hello, my name is Marissa Knapp, and I'm going to be presenting to you a strategic plan developed for First School regarding technology. First School is a private institution. It is an extension of the First United Presbyterian Church of Fayetteville, Arkansas, and has been for going on 15 years now. The program started as a small Mother's Day Out program and slowly grew into a private preschool, into the private kindergarten, preschool, and Mother's Day Out program that it is today. Currently, they have 148 students enrolled for the 2014-2015 school year, with a total of 22 staff members. That includes lead and assistant teachers and the director. The project goal for this strategic plan is to improve and update the planning methods utilized by the First School teachers and expand the teaching capabilities through the incorporation of educational technology tools. The project contact person is Bridget Moore, and the strategic planner is me, Marissa Knapp. The key stakeholders involved in this strategic planning process are as follows: Nancy Ho, lead kindergarten teacher; Noi Lee, lead teacher of the Younger Fours program; Bridget Moore, lead teacher in the Younger Threes classroom; Christian Hornwell, teacher mentor for the Mother's Day Out program; Kathy Hairston, First School director; Marissa Knapp, technology consultant and strategic planner. Additional stakeholders include the rest of the First School staff, the First School Commission Board, church members of the First United Presbyterian Church, and all parents of enrolled students. While the additional stakeholders were not immediately involved in the strategic planning process, their input will come in whenever the strategic plan is implemented. First School's ultimate vision includes an environment where technology plays an important role in creating a school that runs efficiently, where records are easily accessible, files are easily stored, and trees are no longer killed in order to fill a drawer with endless paperwork. Through the incorporation of technology, both inside and outside of the classroom, all documentation can be digitally stored, allowing for easy access by all parties from any location. This includes the overall future vision of First School. The technology vision specifically associated with this strategic plan, developed by the key stakeholders, is as follows. In an ever-changing world where technology is infiltrating more parts of our lives on a daily basis, we as educators will see this not as a threat, but as another opportunity to bring enrichment to the lives of our students. Technology will merely provide a stepping stone in the methods we use to educate, enlighten, foster, and assist the expansion of knowledge for students in our care. This statement was developed using a variety of vision planning exercises performed with the key stakeholders involved in the strategic planning process. Each stakeholder was asked to envision First School 5 years into the future, then compare the present state of First School to this vision and note the major changes. Based upon their own representation of the future of First School, each stakeholder was asked to create a mini vision statement containing what they believed the future of First School should include. These mini vision statements were then combined to create the current technology vision. Following the creation of the technology vision, the evaluation methods were developed in order to determine the needs of First School in obtaining the technology vision. A series of questions were developed in order to base the technology evaluation methods on. A variety of data gathering techniques were utilized to find the answers to these questions. These techniques included interviews with teachers, teacher and staff surveys, as well as classroom observation. Not all of the questions were specifically addressed. Some answers were found through seeking the attitudes of the first school staff regarding these questions. Attitudes of teachers were obtained primarily using the interview process, as well as classroom and planning observations. By using these multi-technique methods of collecting information, more robust data was gathered, in that the observations helped to extend upon the responses that were given by the teachers during their formal interviews. The majority of the technology evaluation questions that were asked centered around teacher planning technologies. The questions are as follows. What are the first school's current planning tools? Who uses these tools and how often? Where does planning primarily take place? What technologies are used during planning? What technologies are provided by the school? Do the teachers feel these technologies are effective planning tools? Do they help create a stimulating environment for the students? After reviewing all first school inventories and information gathered during the technology evaluations, it was determined that the current state of first school included a lack of planning materials and equipment, as well as allotted planning time. While it was indicated by the first school staff during both interviews and observations that the current technologies were wanted and used, the vast ratio of 1:6 for usable computers to classroom teachers presented a problem, and the amount of sharing time affected the overall use of the equipment. The limited amount of technologies provided by the school resulted in the majority of planning time taking place outside of the school facilities, with teachers using their own personal computers, iPads, cell phones, printers, as well as other personal resources. While the current system is functional, it requires more of the teachers and depletes their own personal resources. The overall findings of the technology evaluation concluded that First School offered insufficient technology for its teachers, for both planning and teaching purposes, and an overall planning structure was absent from the school. Following the technology evaluation, a needs assessment was conducted. The needs assessment provided an extension upon the technology evaluation. The technology evaluation showed the obvious lack of planning and educational technology tools present at First School, and the needs assessment provided details on this issue. The key questions utilized during the needs assessment included: when planning lessons, do you ever have a reoccurring thought that the process would be easier if blank? When planning lessons, is there a specific item or tool you find yourself always wishing you had? When teaching a lesson, is there anything that is continually lacking? The data gathering methods utilized to answer these questions were group focus interviews and attitude surveys. The key questions were the central focus during the group interviews and laid the groundwork for discussion so the teachers' attitudes towards technology could be obtained. The results of the technology evaluation and the needs assessment resulted in the prioritizing of the following technology needs. 1. The incorporation of specific planning utensils, including technology tools easily accessible and available to teachers without time constraints. And 2. The implementation of technological devices to enhance the instructional capabilities of teachers and allow students to participate in independent and self-directed learning experiences. Based upon these needs, the following gaps were found between the current state of First School and the technology vision. A shortage of technology equipment/time allotted with equipment for planning, and the absence of equipment in the classroom to be utilized for instructional purposes. In order to close this gap, the following action plan was developed. Gain approval for a technology budget, add technology budget to the budget plan, obtain funds from the first school endowments and fundraisers to deposit into the technology fund, purchase classroom laptops, classroom printers, and classroom iPads, purchase Microsoft Office software to install on the above purchased laptops and iPads, and finally the implementation of the software Hudl, which is an online program that allows multiple users to operate it simultaneously on multiple devices. It is free to First School, who is a qualified nonprofit organization. The implementation of the software Hudl will further advance First School towards its long-term goal of becoming a paperless entity. The following evaluation methods were developed to ensure that the Technology Strategic Plan implementation progresses according to plan. While the first school director will ultimately be the leader of the evaluation process, it was decided that the key stakeholders involved in the strategic planning process would form an evaluation team and take initial responsibility for the plan's implementation. More specifically, they would be responsible for organizing the following 4 evaluation methods. A success plan will be developed to track the progress of the strategic plan's implementation. Key participants will maintain records of their progress. Group meetings with key stakeholders responsible for the plan's implementation, and interviews with all participants to evaluate the status of implementation. These evaluation methods will help the evaluation team track all feedback surrounding implementation and help them to determine any alterations that may need to be made to the plan. The following timeline was developed for the action plan of the strategic plan and includes all evaluation methods that are to take place. The plan will follow a 2.5-year timeline, beginning January 2015 and ending in June 2017, 2.5 years after the projected start date. And this concludes my overview of the First School Technology Strategic Plan. Thank you.